You are not upset because life is unfair.
You are upset because you think it should obey you.
Almost everything you fight.
Was never under your control to begin with.
2,000 years ago, a former slave named Epictetus saw this clearly.
And what he discovered will either offend you
Or completely change how you live.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, all, and welcome to Book Podcast Zone. I am your host, Emma.
And I'm John.
So today we're doing something a little bit different. Usually, we grab a business book, a new biography, we sort of scan it and pull out the highlights for you. But today we're not just reviewing a book. We are, I think, dissecting a survival guide.
That's a great way to put it, a survival guide. We're looking at Stoic mastery, a roadmap to the Enchiridion.
And I think that title, a survival guide, is really appropriate because this text, it isn't meant to just, entertain you.
Not at all. It's not even really meant to inform you in the traditional sense. It's written to arm you. It's a toolkit.
Exactly. And for anyone who might be hearing that title, the Enchiridion, and feeling a little intimidated.
Which is fair. It sounds very academic.
It does. But it literally just translates to the handbook or the manual.
Yeah, the little book you keep in your hand.
And it was put together by Arian, who was a student of the philosopher Epictetus. And before we get into the actual words on the page, we have to talk about the man himself. Because when I hear ancient philosopher, I don't know, I picture a guy in a toga, probably wealthy, eating grapes.
Right, debating abstract concepts with his rich friends. That is absolutely not who this was. Epictetus was a former slave.
The former slave.
And that context is, it's absolutely critical to everything we're going to talk about today. His ideas about freedom didn't come from a place of privilege. He didn't write about freedom because he had it handed to him.
He wrote about it because he had none.
Precisely. He lived a life where he had, by our definition, zero control over his external circumstances. His body, his location, his schedule, his very life was owned by someone else.
And yet, history tells us he found a way to be, what, the freest man in Rome.
That's the paradox. And that's the hook, isn't it?
It's totally the hook for me. Because if a guy in actual physical chains can find a way to be mentally invincible, then, I probably don't have a good excuse for losing my mind when the Wi-Fi goes out for 5 minutes.
Exactly. This isn't abstract theory from an ivory tower. This is a tactical, field-tested manual for achieving invincibility in a world that is fundamentally chaotic.
Invincibility. I love that word, but it also sounds a bit superhero-ish.
Well, maybe. But I think we could all use a bit of that feeling right now.
I think so. So to make sense of this, we've broken this massive topic down into 5 key segments. We're going to really try to get into the nuts and bolts. We'll start with the foundation, the dichotomy of control. Then we'll look at the art of perception, how you frame your world. After that, something I definitely need, how to deal with other people.
A social jungle.
Yes. Then we'll touch on the roles we play in life. And finally, how to actually live this stuff day to day.
It's a comprehensive system. It really does touch every part of your life.
So let's just jump right in. Segment 1, the dichotomy of control. This is the foundation, right?
It is. This covers chapters 1, 2, 8, 12, and 20 of our source. And honestly, if you only take one single thing away from this entire deep dive, let it be chapter 1.
That's a big claim.
It is. But if you can truly internalize and master the first chapter, you almost don't need the rest of the book. Everything else just flows from this one idea.
And the idea is some things are up to us and some things are not. It sounds so simple. It sounds like something you'd read in a fortune cookie.
It is deceptively simple. The sentence is easy to understand, but applying it moment to moment is excruciatingly difficult.
So what's in each column? What's the breakdown?
The source material is very clear. In the Up to Us column, you have your opinions, your desires, your aversions, what you move toward and what you move away from, and most importantly, your own actions.
So basically the inner workings of my own mind. My will.
Your will, exactly. The operations of your own mind. That's your kingdom.
Okay. And the not up to us list?
This is the one that trips people up. Your body, your possessions, your reputation, and basically all other external events.
Okay, let's stop right there. We have to unpack this because my brain is already fighting you.
I expected it to.
You said the body is not up to us.
Correct. In the Stoic sense, it is not.
That feels wrong. It feels dangerous almost. It sounds like learned helplessness. I can choose to go to the gym. I can choose to eat a salad instead of a double cheeseburger. I take my vitamins. I am actively controlling my body.
And that's the most common and, frankly, the most intelligent objection. But we have to look closer at what Epictetus means by control.
Okay.
For him, control means absolute 100% command. If you control something, you can guarantee the outcome every single time without fail.
Okay, absolute command.
So you can choose the action of going to the gym. That action is up to you. That is your will in motion. But can you control the result? Can you 100% guarantee that when you leave the gym, you won't step off the curb, twist your ankle, and never be able to run again?
No, of course not.
Can you guarantee that despite all the kale and all the vitamins in the world, you won't develop some genetic condition or catch a virus that's going around?
No. I guess I can't guarantee it.
Then, in the strict Stoic definition, your body is not up to you. It's subject to a million external factors. Genetics, accidents, viruses, aging. It's a thing you can influence, but you cannot command.
So it's the difference between influence and command. That's the key.
That is the entire key. And the source material highlights the trap here, and it's a big one. True freedom, real peace of mind, it only exists if you focus exclusively on that up to us column.
And all our anxiety comes from the other column.
Almost all of it.
Yeah.
Most human anxiety comes from trying to command the things we can only influence. We try to wrestle reality into the shape we want, and reality always wins.
Let's ground this. I get it in theory, but let's talk about the ultimate American stress test.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Traffic.
The great equalizer.
Let's say you're in LA, you're stuck on the I-405, or you're in New York, and it's the BQE at 5 p.m. on a Friday. Gridlock.
The worst.
And you have somewhere important to be. A job interview, a first date, picking up your kid, and you are at a dead stop. Brake lights for miles. What are you feeling?
Okay, so first there's that jolt of panic.
Yeah.
Then the anger starts to bubble up. My heart rate is climbing. I can feel my hands gripping the steering wheel. Knuckles are probably white.
Right. And you start to, personally hate the person in the Honda Civic in front of you just for existing?
Yes, you're suffering. You are actively miserable in that little metal box. But now, let's apply the dichotomy.
Okay.
The traffic itself.
Not up to me.
The accident that happened 3 miles ahead.
Definitely not up to me.
The decision to do construction on a Friday afternoon.
Yep.
So you're sitting there, maybe yelling, maybe honking your horn, but you're trying to control the uncontrollable.
My thought is always, this shouldn't be happening. I left early. This is unfair.
And that phrase right there, this shouldn't be happening. That is your opinion. That is the one and only thing in that entire car that is up to you. The traffic cannot hear you. Your anger does not magically make the cars move. It's an irrational act. You're fighting with reality, and reality is undefeated.
Okay, but telling someone who's about to miss a huge meeting that their anger is irrational, that can feel a bit, dismissive. The stress is a real physical thing. How do you just turn that off?
And that's a great point. Epictetus doesn't expect you to be a robot. He's not saying you shouldn't feel that initial flash of frustration. He's saying you have to catch it.
Catch the impulse.
Yes. The Stoic move isn't to pretend you're not late. It's to realize in that moment, okay, the one thing I have command over right now is my reaction. The traffic is a fact. My lateness is probably a fact. My misery, though, that is a choice.
So what does the Stoic actually do in the car?
They run the analysis. Can I make these cars move? No. Can I fly over them? No. Okay, so what can I do?
You can put on a podcast.
You can listen to an audiobook. You can practice deep breathing exercises. You can accept that you are going to be late and mentally rehearse your apology so that it's sincere and professional when you finally get there. You work on what you can control.
You shift your entire focus from the gridlock outside your windshield to the world inside your mind.
That's where your power is. And this is exactly what Chapter 20 says. Your real power is in your reasoned choice, not in external status, not in external events. The moment you start screaming at the traffic, you have handed your peace of mind over to the Department of Transportation. You've made yourself a willing victim of the road.
This brings us to Chapter 2 and 8, which are about desire. The source text says, if you desire things outside your control, you will be disappointed, not you might be.
It's a guarantee. It is a mathematical certainty. If you pin your happiness on something that is not 100% up to you, you're just gambling. And in the long run, the house always wins.
The first thing I thought of here was sports fans. It's the perfect, socially acceptable form of this kind of irrational desire.
Oh, absolutely. It's a national pastime. It's a form of mass insanity we've all agreed is okay.
I have an uncle, and if his team, the Dallas Cowboys, if they lose on a Sunday, his entire week is ruined.
I know that guy. We all know that guy.
He is genuinely depressed. He's angry. He's short with his kids. He's snippy with his wife. It's like a cloud descends over the whole house.
Now think about what that actually means through this lens. That's a flagrant violation of Chapter 2. He has attached his emotional well-being, his inner peace, to the performance of a group of 25-year-old strangers chasing a leather ball.
He's handed the keys to his happiness to a quarterback who doesn't even know he exists.
It sounds absolutely absurd when you spell it out like that, doesn't it?
It does, but we all do it. We do it with sports, we do it with politics, we do it with the stock market, we even do it with the weather.
So how does a Stoic watch the Super Bowl? Are they just sitting there totally emotionless like a robot?
Right, like what's the point then?
No, not at all. They watch it for the love of the game. You can appreciate the incredible athleticism, the strategy, the human drama of it all. If your team wins, great. That's what the Stoics call a preferred indifferent.
A preferred indifferent. I like that.
You enjoy it, you celebrate it, but if they lose, well, that was the outcome. You don't demand that the outcome conform to your wish. You wish for the game to happen as it does.
And that's straight out of Chapter 8. Don't demand things happen as you wish them to happen as they do.
That's the one. Just imagine how much lighter your life would feel if you dropped the heavy burden of demanding that reality bend to your every expectation.
It's like a form of emotional jujitsu. You stop trying to fight the wave and you just learn how to surf it.
And this leads right into Chapter 12. If you truly want to be content, you have to align your will with reality. If you're standing on your porch screaming at the rain because you wanted to have a picnic, you're the one who's broken, not the weather.
The rain is just being rain.
The rain is just doing what rain does. The problem is your expectation, not the reality.
It puts so much responsibility back on the individual, though. There's no room for the universe is out to get me. It's just my desires are out of alignment with the universe.
Which is incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
Because you can always fix your alignment. You can't always fix the universe.
That is a really powerful distinction. Okay, before we move on to how we perceive all these events, which is where this gets really psychological, if this conversation is sparking some ideas for you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share for more updates. It really helps us keep the lights on and lets us continue to do these deep dives.
We'd really appreciate it.
All right, segment 2. The art of detachment and perception. We're looking at chapters 3, 5, 6, 7, 11, and 14.
This is where we get into the psychology of the Stoic. This is the operating system that runs on the hardware of the dichotomy of control.
And chapter 5 seems to be the linchpin here. It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them.
This is it. This is the root of modern cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. Aaron Beck, the father of CBT, openly said he was basically just repackaging Stoicism. Epictetus nailed this 2,000 years ago.
We tend to think there's a direct line. Event A happens, I lose my wallet. That leads directly to emotion B, I feel angry and panicked.
Right. A causes B. But Epictetus says there's a hidden step in the middle.
The story, the judgment.
Exactly. The sequence is actually event A happens. Then we tell ourselves a story, a judgment about that event, and then emotion B results. The story is the cause, not the event.
I had a real aha moment reading the source notes on this. It used the example of two people experiencing the exact same event but having wildly different emotional reactions.
Let's use a very current, very real-world example. Layoffs in the tech industry. It's a scary, visceral reality for a lot of people right now.
It really is. So let's create a narrative. We have two people. Let's call them Sarah and Mike. They work at the same big tech company, sit in adjacent cubicles, same job, same salary. Tuesday morning, they both get that dreaded email. Mandatory HR meeting in 15 minutes. They go in, the HR director reads the script, their roles have been eliminated, effective immediately.
Okay, so the event is 100% identical. Employment terminated.
Sarah walks back to her desk. Her face is pale. Her internal monologue, her story, starts racing.
Oh my God, I'm a failure. I've been fired. What did I do wrong? How am I going to pay my rent? I'll never find another job this good. My entire career is over. Everyone's going to think I'm a loser.
That's her judgment. She's labeling this event as a catastrophe, a personal indictment. And the emotional result of that story is panic, depression, maybe even paralysis.
Now let's look at Mike. He gets the same news.
Yeah.
He feels that initial shock. Of course, he's human. But his internal story is different.
Mm-hmm.
His monologue is, okay, wow, so that just happened. You know what? I was burning out anyway. This severance package is actually pretty good. It gives me 6 months of runway. I've been talking about starting that bakery or finally learning to code in Python. This is the kick I needed. So his judgment is opportunity, or maybe just change. And the emotional result is determination, maybe even a little excitement mixed in with the fear.
The event, the layoff, was neutral. It was just a notification from an HR department. All of the emotional weight, all the suffering, or all the opportunity came entirely from the story they chose to tell themselves about it.
And that is an incredibly freeing concept. But it's also really, really hard to practice in the heat of the moment. When the blow lands, it feels like the event is the pain.
It does. It feels physical.
And that's why Epictetus calls it a manual. It's not a poem. It's a set of instructions you have to practice. Chapter 6 says, when you face some discomfort, you have to interrogate your own thoughts. You have to stop and ask yourself, is this thing bad in and of itself, or is it only bad because of the label I'm putting on it?
Now let's move to the concept that I found the most challenging. Honestly, it was a little disturbing at first, the loaned concept from chapters 3, 7, and 11.
I had a feeling this would be the one. Most people get stuck here.
The source says, when you lose something, or even someone, don't say I lost it, you should say it was returned.
Yes.
I have to be honest, that sounds incredibly cold. If my child dies or my partner passes away, to say he was returned feels like I'm talking about a library book. It feels like I'm trying to detach myself from love just to avoid pain. Is that what this is?
I completely understand that reaction. To our modern ears, it can sound like detachment bordering on sociopathy. But we have to look deeper. Epictetus is not saying you shouldn't love your child or your partner with your entire being.
Then what is he saying?
He's saying you must understand the fundamental nature of that relationship to avoid being destroyed by its inevitable end.
Explain that.
We tend to operate from a mindset of possession. These things are mine, my wife, my child, my house. We feel entitled to keep them forever. So when they're taken from us by death, by accident, by disaster, we feel robbed. We feel like a profound injustice has occurred. We scream at the universe, this isn't fair. That was mine.
And Epictetus says we're like a traveler staying at an inn.
Exactly. You stay at a nice inn. You use the bed. You enjoy the room. You look out at the beautiful view. But you don't own the inn.
Right.
When the innkeeper says your stay is over and they need the room back, you don't burn the place down in a rage. You say, thank you for the stay, and you move on.
Let's use a really hard real-world example. We see these devastating hurricanes in Florida or the wildfires in California. Every year now, it seems. I was watching the news, seeing people standing in front of a pile of ash that used to be their family home.
It's just heartbreaking.
It is. So the Stoic approach isn't to say, oh, it doesn't matter, it was just a house.
No, absolutely not. It's to have a framework that allows you to survive that catastrophic loss without being spiritually annihilated.
So if you view your house as something you own forever, the fire is a personal violation. It's a tragedy that has ruined your life.
But if you view the house as wood and stone and metal, loaned to you by nature for a time, which nature has now reclaimed, it has been returned.
It changes the quality of the grief, doesn't it? It doesn't mean you don't cry or feel the loss.
Of course you do. But it removes the bitterness. It removes the sense of cosmic victimhood. And here's the paradox. Epictetus argues this mindset actually makes you love things more deeply while you have them.
Because you're constantly aware that they aren't permanent.
Exactly. If you know that your favorite coffee mug is, in a sense, already broken, as the Zen Buddhists might say, or on loan, as the Stoics would say, you cherish every single sip of coffee you drink from it. You don't take it for granted. You're fully present with it.
That connects to chapter 14, which talks about the cosmic view, viewing yourself as part of a larger whole.
Right. You're just one small part of a massive, constantly changing universe. Sometimes the universe needs the wood back for a fire. Sometimes it needs the water back for a hurricane. Your job is to act in harmony with that process rather than fighting it every step of the way.
It's a huge shift from being the main character of the universe to being just one participant in it, a humble participant.
Well put. And humility is a huge part of this next segment.
This is deep stuff. We're going to shift gears in a second to something a bit more practical and social, how to deal with the people who annoy us on a daily basis. Because, you know, it's easy to feel cosmic when I'm alone reading a book. It's a lot harder when I'm dealing with my passive-aggressive coworker. Let's call him Gary. Which brings us to the social jungle.
Indeed.
But first, if you're enjoying this deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share for more updates. It really does help other people find the show.
We appreciate it.
Okay, segment 3. Navigating social jungles. Or how to deal with people.
This covers a whole slew of chapters, 13, 16, 18, 22, 24, 26, 33, 42, and 43. This is basically the Stoics' guide to not letting other people drive you crazy.
I feel like chapter 18 and 24 are basically the internet survival guide chapters.
The insult hack, yes.
Yes. The source text says, if someone offends you, it is their problem. Laugh it off.
This is so crucial for the modern world. We're just constantly bombarded with other people's opinions, comments, hot takes, trolls.
Let's talk about the two modern archetypes, the Karen in the supermarket or the anonymous troll on X, formerly Twitter.
Okay, let's do the Twitter troll scenario. You post a mild opinion about a movie you liked. A stranger with a cartoon frog as their avatar replies, "You have terrible taste and you're an idiot."
My immediate gut reaction, my biological reaction, is to get defensive, to fight back, to list all the reasons why my taste is actually impeccable and they're the idiot. I want to win.
And that is the trap. You've taken the bait. Epictetus says, first of all, remember chapter 1. Their opinion of you is not up to you. But more deeply, chapter 43 suggests that when someone attacks you like that, it's almost always a reflection of their own insecurity, ignorance, or pain.
So the insult actually belongs to them, not me.
Think of it this way. Imagine someone walks up to you on the street and tries to hand you a bag of rotting garbage.
I would not take it.
Exactly. You'd probably recoil and walk away. But when someone offers us an insult online, we tend to grab that bag of garbage with both hands, open it up, smear it all over ourselves, and then get furious that we smell bad.
That's a disgusting image, but it makes perfect sense.
If you choose to take offense, you have cooperated with your own emotional assault. You've agreed to be hurt. The troll's mission is accomplished.
So what's the move? What does Epictetus say to do?
He suggests laughing it off. His recommended response is legendary. He says, if someone criticizes you for a fault, you should say, well, I'm glad they don't know my other faults, or they wouldn't have mentioned only these.
That is such a power move. It's like self-deprecation as a form of judo. It renders their attack totally useless.
Totally useless. You can't hurt someone who doesn't take themselves that seriously. You become bulletproof to their words.
What about criticism that's a little closer to home, like in a professional setting? You can't just laugh at your boss if they give you negative feedback. Chapters 22 and 26 seem to cover this.
Right. The first rule is to avoid actively seeking approval in the first place. But if you are criticized, say by a boss or a respected peer, the Stoic response is purely analytical, not emotional.
So you take the ego out of it.
You try to. You just ask one simple question. Are they right?
And if they are?
Then you improve. You should be grateful. They just gave you free data to help you get better. You say thank you, and you get to work.
And if they're not, if the boss is just having a bad day and venting, or they're just plain wrong,
then you ignore it. It's simply an error in their judgment. It's not a flaw in your character. You don't even have to correct them if it's not important. You can just let them be wrong. It costs you nothing.
That requires so much self-control, to just let it go. It also speaks to the issue of social pressure, especially office politics and gossip.
Ah, yes, the water cooler. The modern forum.
Chapters 33 and 42. Avoid gossip. Don't speak too much, listen more. This is like the anti-water cooler manifesto.
It is.
We've all been in that situation. You're at the office happy hour, or you're just making coffee, and someone starts in on a coworker. Let's bring back Gary. Did you see the email Gary sent? Can you believe he messed up that report again?
The social pressure to join in is immense. It's a form of social bonding, even if it's a negative one. If you don't join in, you risk being seen as an outsider.
But Epictetus says, don't do it.
He says it poisons your mind. Chapter 42 warns us to be careful about what we allow into our heads. If you're listening to gossip, you're letting someone else dump their garbage in your living room. The Stoic move is to just stay silent.
That silence can be really awkward, though.
It can be. The next level move is to try and subtly change the subject to something more noble or, just neutral.
Speaking of reports, did you guys see the game last night?
Something like that. Or just don't add fuel to the fire. Don't nod along enthusiastically. Chapter 33 advises to be silent for the most part, or to speak only what is necessary and in very few words.
In a world where everyone is practically screaming for attention, everyone has a podcast, an Instagram, a personal brand, being the quiet, observant listener is actually a massive differentiator.
It signals a deep confidence. You don't need to fill the air with noise to prove that you exist.
And another part of that is don't boast. That's a big theme in the source text.
Boasting is just proof that you are dependent on the admiration of others. If you know you did a good job on a project, that knowledge should be sufficient. If you need me to tell you that you did a good job, you're a slave to my opinion.
Ouch. A slave to my opinion. That hits home for anyone who's ever refreshed their social media feed waiting for likes.
And that language is intentional. Epictetus uses the word slave deliberately. He knew what actual physical slavery was, and it must have driven him crazy to see free men and women voluntarily enslave themselves to the fleeting opinions of others.
Okay, this is all hitting a little too close to the bone. Let's move on to something that might help us reframe our entire careers, our whole lives. Segment 4, the actor, the athlete, and the roles we play.
I like this section. We're looking at chapters 4, 9, 15, 17, 25, 29, 30, 37, and 39.
Let's start with this great theater analogy from chapter 17 and 30. Life is a play.
This is one of his most famous and powerful metaphors. He says, the playwright, you can call it God, nature, the universe, whatever works for you, assigns the roles.
And the roles are things like beggar, king, a person with a disability, an average office worker.
Exactly. You don't get to cast yourself in the play. You just wake up on stage in costume with a script. You're born in Ohio in the 21st century or in Rome in the 1st century. You're born to rich parents or poor parents. That's your role.
So what's the instruction for us, the actors?
Your job is not to complain that you weren't cast as the king. Your job isn't to try and upstage the lead actor. Your job is to play your given role, whether it's the beggar or the middle manager, with absolute excellence and dignity.
This reminds me of being in my high school play. I wanted to be Juliet so badly. I thought I was born to play Juliet. And the drama teacher cast me as the nurse.
Oof. Brutal.
I was miserable for weeks. I sulked. I barely bothered to learn my lines. And honestly, I gave a terrible performance because I was so consumed with wishing I was someone else.
And that's the perfect illustration of the point. You are judging the role instead of focusing on your performance. Epictetus would say that the role of the nurse can be played with just as much skill, dignity, and artistry as the role of Juliet. The award for Best Actor often goes to a supporting role, right?
That's true.
It's not about the size of the part, it's about the quality of the acting.
This just takes so much pressure off the modern obsession with winning at life. You know, that whole American dream pressure.
Right. We're constantly told that if you aren't the CEO or the influencer with 1 million followers or the founder who just had a big exit, then you've failed somehow.
You didn't manifest your dreams hard enough.
Epictetus says that is utter nonsense. If your assigned role in this life is to be a sanitation worker, your dignity comes from being the most reliable, virtuous, and excellent sanitation worker you can possibly be. That is a life of meaning.
So it's not about the status of the role, but the character of the actor playing it.
Precisely. And that connects directly to chapter 37. If you take on a role that's beyond your capabilities, you not only disgrace yourself in that role, but you also neglect the role you could have been playing beautifully.
Know your limits. That's chapter 39 as well. Don't overreach. Don't try to be the CEO if your nature is to be the craftsman.
Right, now let's switch metaphors from the theater to the gym. The athlete, from chapters 25, 29, and 38.
This is the idea of life as a training ground.
And hardship is your personal trainer. This is the ultimate reframe for anything you would normally call bad news. When something difficult happens, you don't see it as a tragedy. You see it as a sparring partner.
So if I have a really difficult, demanding boss, he's not just an annoyance that's ruining my week.
He is your heavy bag. He has been sent to you to train your patience. He's training your fortitude, your ability to stay calm under pressure. Epictetus says God is like a wrestling coach who pairs you with the toughest opponent to get you ready for the Olympics.
That visualization is so helpful. The question shifts from, why is this happening to me, to how is this happening for me? How is this training me?
But you have to be consistent with the training. That's chapter 38. You have to train the mind just like you train the body.
This makes me think of New Year's resolutions at the gym.
Oh, the great January gym rush.
Everyone goes all in for 3 weeks. They're going to transform their entire life. They buy the new gear, they drink the protein shakes, and then by mid-February...
It's a ghost town.
Because they were running on a temporary burst of enthusiasm, not on disciplined training. Epictetus argues for a mental gym. You don't start your training by trying to handle the death of a loved one. That's the 500-pound deadlift.
Right.
You start with small, daily denials. You practice on the little things.
What's the mental equivalent of a push-up? What does that look like?
It could be anything. Maybe today you resist the urge to have that second cookie. Maybe today, when you feel the itch to check your phone for notifications, you make yourself wait 5 minutes. You are building the muscle of self-control, of saying no to your immediate impulses.
So that when the big tragedy does hit, the Olympic event of grief or financial ruin or betrayal. You've actually been training for it. You have some muscle built up.
Exactly. You don't train for a marathon on the day of the race. You put in the miles every single day for months beforehand.
Consistency is everything.
Okay, we have one segment left, and it's all about how to actually live this stuff out without becoming, insufferable. Because, let's be honest, people who just discovered philosophy and talk about it all the time can be really annoying.
We are walking a very fine line right now ourselves.
That is a fair point. But before we get there, one last reminder. Like, subscribe, and share for more updates.
Please do. It really helps.
All right, segment 5. The philosophical lifestyle, or walking the talk.
The big finish. This covers a ton of ground. Chapters 10, 19, 21, 23, 27, and basically all of 31 through 50.
I want to start with the sheep. Chapter 46. This made me laugh out loud when I first read it.
The sheep metaphor is brilliant. It's absolutely timeless.
As the source says, sheep don't vomit up grass to show the shepherd how much they ate. They digest it and inwardly produce wool and milk.
It's such a perfect direct shot at people who memorize philosophical quotes and the sound bites, but don't actually live by them.
We see this everywhere today, especially on social media, the LinkedIn thought leaders.
Or the Instagram gurus posting a picture of a sunrise.
Yes.
Wow.
They post these stoic quotes, these hustle culture mantras. The obstacle is the way. Rise and grind. They're vomiting up the grass for everyone to see. Look how much smart grass I ate.
But Epictetus is standing there, arms crossed, asking the essential question, where's the wool?
What is the wool in this analogy? What's the milk?
The wool is your character. The milk is your behavior in the real world. Don't show me the theorem you memorized in a book. Show me what that theorem produced in your actions. Don't tell me you're a Stoic. Show me you're not screaming at the gate agent when your flight is canceled.
That calm reaction is the wool. The quote is just the grass.
Exactly. Digest the grass. Don't just regurgitate it for likes.
I love that. Digest the grass. That should be on a t-shirt.
It's the whole essence of chapter 47 as well. Don't go around calling yourself a philosopher. Just embody the principles quietly. If you have to tell people you're virtuous, you're probably not.
Let's talk about possessions and identity again. Chapter 44 has this great, simple, logical takedown of status anxiety.
Oh, the I am richer than you, therefore I am better than you fallacy.
Right. Epictetus says that's just bad logic. He breaks it down like a math problem. The correct, logical statement is, I am richer than you, therefore I have more money than you.
That's it. Full stop. That is the only valid conclusion you can draw. I am more eloquent than you, therefore my speeches are better than yours. It says nothing about your fundamental worth as a human being.
This just cuts right through the whole keeping up with the Joneses mentality that drives so much of our culture.
Completely. Let's use a modern example. Your neighbor buys a brand new Tesla.
It's shiny, it's fast, it's parked in their driveway for everyone to see.
The default American reaction is a pang of envy or a feeling of being less than. You look at your 10-year-old Honda Civic and you think, he's successful, I'm failing.
But Epictetus reminds us in chapters 40 and 41 that true beauty is inner virtue. You are not your property. Your neighbor has a new car. You have your integrity. Those are two completely different categories of things.
You can't compare them. It's like comparing the color blue to the number 7. They don't exist in the same realm.
No, we have to touch on the heavy one, the one that scares people. Chapter 21 and 36. Memento mori.
Keep death before your eyes daily.
It just sounds so morbid. Why would I want to think about dying every single day? Isn't life supposed to be about, living?
It sounds morbid to us because our culture does everything it can to hide from death. We sanitize it, we don't talk about it. But for the Stoic, meditating on your own mortality is profoundly life-affirming.
How? How does thinking about the end make the present better?
Because it clarifies everything. It reduces fear, and, as the text says, it gets rid of trivial desire.
Okay, give me an example.
Imagine you're in a petty fight with your sister. You haven't spoken in 3 weeks because of some stupid comment she made at Thanksgiving.
Okay, I can imagine that.
Now, truly, deeply internalize the fact that one of you could be gone tomorrow. Not as some abstract concept, but as a real, visceral possibility. Would you continue holding on to that grudge?
No, of course not. It would seem so meaningless and petty in that light.
Exactly. You'd call her immediately. Death is the ultimate filter for nonsense. It clarifies what is actually important. You stop chasing stupid things like a slightly bigger office or more followers online when you realize your time is finite and precious.
It's a tool for prioritization.
The ultimate tool.
Yeah.
And chapter 50 ties it all together with the idea of the daily audit. Examine your life constantly. The unexamined life is not worth living.
You have to keep checking the manual. You can't just read it once and be done.
It's called a philosophical practice for a reason. You never finish being a Stoic. You just get a little bit better at it.
Yeah.
You'll fall off the wagon. You'll get angry in traffic. You'll get jealous of your neighbor's Tesla. The practice is realizing it and getting back on the path.
So we've covered a ton of ground today.
We have. It's a dense text.
It feels like we've built a toolbox. First, we have the dichotomy of control. That's the hammer and nails. Separating the traffic from our reaction to the traffic.
The absolute foundation.
Then we have the loaned mindset. This is our resilience tool. Viewing our possessions, our health, even our loved ones as precious gifts that we get to enjoy for a time, but must eventually be returned.
Crucial for surviving loss.
We have life as a play. This is our tool for finding dignity, playing our assigned role, whether it's CEO or sanitation worker, with excellence and character.
And learning to ignore the booing and the cheering from the audience.
And finally, silent practice. Being the sheep that produces wool, not the sheep that just vomits up grass to impress the shepherd.
Living it, not just posting about it.
I want to leave you with one last thought to really mull over, to take with you. We talked about stripping things away. So I want you to really consider this. If you stripped away your job title, if you emptied your bank account, if you deleted all your social media followers, if you even stripped away your physical appearance, your face, your body, your health.
Everything external.
Yeah.
Everything not in the up to us column.
What is left? Epictetus says that little remnant, your character, your values, and your capacity to make reasoned choices is the only thing that was ever truly yours to begin with.
It's the only thing that no one and nothing can ever take away from you.
So the final question is, are you taking care of that? Or are you spending all your time and energy decorating the house that you don't even own?
That is the question.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the Enchiridion.
It's been a real pleasure.
This has been Book Podcast Zone. Stay curious, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.